know how to submit to one another for the greater good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let me make this statement. I believe it's about oppression and economics. Because we talked earlier about the middle class having a prominence, black middle class that is, having some type of presence in America today. Back then, that is. Today, the black middle class is shrinking and falling. So much because of what we are doing to ourselves, but it's because of another system of oppression. Okay, yes. And the setup is this: there's three classes. There was three classes. There's the rich. Actually, there was four. There was the super rich. Then there was the rich, and then there's the middle class, and then there's the poor. Okay, now. Eventually, in the next few years from now, it's going to be two classes.
No middle.
There won't be no middle, okay? Especially for blacks, there won't be no middle. There'll be a rich and there'll be a poor, and the rich will always state what the poor can and cannot do, okay? And that's why we have this martial law will be the law of the land. And so driving while black, yes, we're having a fit with that right now. That's going to be the way of life. You look at this thing that happened in Hammond, Indiana. The man riding around in the car with his family.
Wasn't even driving.
And here's the thing about that. That affected me psychologically more than any police brutality that I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because that was utter hatred. And then you look at this an order of things that's happening with the police department.
Yes.
One is fear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The other one, number two, is racism. They just hate you. Okay?
Always have.
Yeah. Number three is poor training.
That seems like a prerequisite to be a cop.
Absolutely. Okay. So
you
there needs to be some.
You want to be a cop?
Yeah.
Do you hate black people?
Then you don't need.
You're hired.
They need to pick policemen
you know what? It's
like
not
they do.
quite as much of hating black people as it is hating poor people.
They
automatically assume they'll look at a certain thing and they'll just go ahead.
They assume blacks are poor.
But this is the new cop.
Yeah.
See, because the old cop will go into the thing of if you saw a brother drive by in a BMW with the spoke rims, tinted glass,
he's a drug dealer.
He's a drug dealer, right? And he gets the pass.
Sure.
But the guy who has that factory equipped, clean suit, no tint on his window, driving through, he gets pulled over.
Yes. Every time.
He was like, so why are you pulling me over?
Well, there's two sides of that story, and I'm going to reveal some of it. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
The one with the tinted windows and the pimped out ride, they knew he was coming to either make a delivery or pick up something. So they allowed him in because he was going to mess with the business.
Yeah.
And that cop would have gotten in trouble because don't think that service doesn't come from that community.
Oh, of course.
So when he was driving through, they said, "Oh, he's working."
Yes.
But that one just came from work. So
yes.
That's the man who helps run the machine. He's the house nigga. That's the Uncle. Lord forgive me for that one, but I'm just using the term. But the one that was doing the right thing, he's a good old boy. I know he gonna pay his ticket. I know I'm gonna get some points for him.
Absolutely.
So that I mean, you have to look at the
whole
the panoramic view.
Yeah.
I understand.
I know you understand it.
But that was the whole. I mean, the situation is, and then we go into the level and no cop. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, it's like somebody walks into your job and they can be right, but they start telling you how your job is supposed to go. You have a tendency to get your feathers get ruffled.
Yeah.
I was like, cops are the same way.
Yeah.
Last thing, the one word should never come out of your mouth, the one phrase should never come out of your mouth is, I know my rights.
Yes.
Listen, you're just tuned in. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show. We're talking about our black people cursed, as you heard. We're going to go to a break and we'll come back with Controversial Corner and we'll get back on this topic. This is the Sir Walter Jones Show.
ComEd presents the power of staying in the light. Having trouble juggling all your bills? Are you worried about the lights getting turned off? ComEd Care programs can help you keep the lights on. Care programs offer help to those facing financial hardships. All inquiries are confidential. To see if you qualify, visit ComEd.com/care or call 1-888-806-CARE. ComEd, powering lives. Grant amounts may vary while funds are available.
Politics, doctrine, current events. Let's meet at the Controversy Corner on the Sir Walter Jones Show here on UBM Press.
Controversy.
This is Keep It Real Carter here at Controversy Corner, and we're talking about whether or not you are cursed or not. Well, first thing you have to remember is, are you black? Did you forget you were black? Well, take a good look in the mirror. If not, look at your backside. If it's darker than the clothes you're wearing, you're black. Now, here's the controversial point that I want to bring out. Booker T. Washington urged us and encouraged us to cast down our buckets where we are. What that means is, rather than assimilating, why don't we accumulate by coming together as one? Unfortunately, once we get something, we take it away from each other. So controversially, I want to challenge you. Quit trying to be like the white man. I'm sorry I had to whisper that. You know, we have to do that. We've been trained to do that. The white man. And learn to unite. And let us join hands and lift every voice. And okay, that's enough of that. On Controversial Corner, I just want to urge us. We need to stop leaving each other. Reach out and pull each other along.
I love it. That's Controversial Corner. You hear every night around this time on Monday through Friday, right here on You Being Praised. And you just turn, well, if you could look in the mirror and turn around and look at the backside,
yeah,
then you kind of know, unless you got that Michael Jackson disease. Was it Alvaro?
Vitiligo. That sounds like that Mexican girl with the husky
Yeah,
with.
that does.
Vitiligo
sounds like a perfume.
But see, all of his parts wasn't.
Yeah, this is anyway.
What? He didn't forget that was black.
Too soon.
I got to hold on to some soul.
Yes, you do. There is a movie, a very controversial movie that I watched, and it educated me on how racism is brought about. It's called American History X. Okay, ooh. All right.
Ed Norton. Outstanding movie. Now here's what it did. It came on when the movie first came on. It showed this Aryan Nation guy beating this black guy on the street. Just beat him. Just cracked his skull. Okay, that was Ed Norton. He was in his 30s, I think it was time, and he was, and then it fast forwarded. Well, actually, what it did then, the movie moved into the backstory of how he got this way. Okay. Well, Ed Norton is sitting at the table. He might be 10, 11 years old. He's sitting at the table with his father and his mother and his brother at the table. They're having dinner, and the father asks him, "So, how was school today?" And he says, "It was good. I really enjoyed my gym class." And the father said, "Oh, you get gym, huh? Yeah, I love my teacher. He teaches this." He said, "Oh, who's your teacher?" And Ed Norton mentions the name. He says, "The black teacher?" He says, "Yeah, I love him. We're learning African American history," something like that. He says, "You're kidding me." He says, "Let me tell you something. Those black people, yada, yada, yada. Those black people, yada, yada, yada. You stay away from, you understand what I'm saying? They're going to teach you this stuff and cause you to be on and on and on." And then the movie fast forwarded back to him being an Aryan, bald-headed, being in this Aryan Nation, okay? And then his brother also began to emulate him being in this Aryan Nation, and then he began to want to be like him and wind up going to jail and what have you. And I said, that's it. That's a perfect script. That's a perfect way to introduce us to how person hate. They're not born that way, and if you see how these children...
That sounds like a curse to me.
Yeah, yes, exactly. You see, my children... I moved them to South Dakota. And they were okay. Where there's a heavy Native American there.
First Nation.
Yeah, the First Nation. We call them Indians. They don't like you to call them that over there.
Because we're not in India.
Okay, no. They are Native Americans. And number two, South Dakota is the only state in the country which Monday is Columbus Day. They're not allowed to call it that. It's called Native American Day, and it's the only state in the country that calls it that. There is no sign nowhere in South Dakota that says Columbus Day. Nowhere. They're not allowed to do it because it is an offense to those people.
And there are no Italians in that state, probably. Mm-hmm.
No Italians. No. And watch this. I pulled out a $20 bill to give to a Native American for something. I can't remember I was giving him money or asking for change, and he saw the 20. He says, "I don't want that. Can you give me 2 10s?" You know who's on the 20? Jackson. Okay. Jackson wanted to literally wipe out the Native Americans.
Right.
Okay, because the Trail of Tears is based off of what he did. American, one of our great American presidents who was responsible for the Louisiana trade, which doubled the size of America, but yet he had skeletons. Just like we look at the presidents who owned slaves, okay, who we now know who had children by slaves and what have you. So we look at the
moving on up.
Yeah, exactly. So we look at the horrible history of United States and how my children they look at a white person or Native American and they just see them as just children. Okay. Yes. It's amazing how these children, and that's why I believe God says for us to come as children, because of the innocence,
the purity of the heart,
and
the objectivity that they have.
That's it. But when we become who we are today, it's taught to us to hate this man because of his dark skin. I don't like you. And look at the Republican Party. Ooh. Okay, look at that. And they're fighting so hard to try to reach out to the black man and the Hispanics. They're trying hard to reach out to them because they're trying to figure why y'all not Republican anymore? Why y'all don't like us? Well, we don't like you because when you go over there, what's that state where they legally now can pull over a Hispanic? They can profile them basically. Is it Arizona? Yes. Arizona. Okay, just pull them over just because they look Hispanic. Just pull them over, no problem. And there's the border. There's because they're near the border. It's a border issue. Over here, they're not allowed to do it, but yet they do it and they call it something else. If they pull art over, they'll say you look like.
Oh, I fit the description.
The description of some
the suspect.
Yeah, the suspect.
But it's just fit the description.
You fit the description of a black man, and so it has become a problem. Now, this show is not a bash show. We don't bash whites, we don't bash homosexuals, we don't bash either. We discuss why these things are going on and just find a way that we can do to fix it individually, because we're not going to fix the world. We just won't be able to. But we got to find out what can you do to better your situation and the person who's coming your way. Because there's some people coming. I get called the N-word on Facebook a lot. Because I have atheists who are some of my Facebook friends, and I have different races who come over, and they do that. But how we handle them as Christians is something that we need to be a little more wary of, because some of your Facebook friends are looking at how you talk to the Republican, to the white guy, to the atheist, and they say, wait a minute, Art, I thought you was you just got through speaking in tongues last night at Bible study.
Well, they have to forgive my Cantonese, yeah.
Oh, your Cantonese. He's a Baptist Cantonese. Something's wrong with him. I'll find that somewhere.
Some young boy.
Some young boy. It's some dumb Negro. That's what yeah. So there's a problem. Pastor Smith, we who are Christians, we live in the world. We understand we're not of it, but we live in it. So living in it, you find yourself having to come across some very challenging things. As a now you are a double negative. I think there's three things against you. Number one, you're a woman. That's automatic. Okay. So number two, you're a Christian. Mm-hmm. Okay. So persecution's coming. Mm-hmm. And then number three, you're black.
Only three? Okay.
Well, I'm sure there's more. It's your hair. Okay. It's your prettiness. All those things are against you.
Well, see, that steps into another set of threes. It's all threes. When you have all three sides covered, there are only three true colors in the world. So,
How do you deal with those things? Because, I know you've seen the diversity of attacks in your life, both natural and spiritual, and racial and what have you. How do you deal with that?
I think when we say we shouldn't be over spiritual and some people over spiritualize things, that's when I really got to go in.
Yes. In that case, yes.
I really have to go in. I have seen some of the same things that I've dealt with in ministry, as being a female, and then even culture. I've seen my mother go through some of those very same things. I've learned how to be able to really focus and